Okay, coming back in for a quick check, and hour and a half gone. There's still 2 hours left to run on this, so while it's going on, let me just get some of this stuff out of the way. We can take a look at the washing and curing station. Oh, this thing does stink. Oh, right. So, let's see what we got here. User manual, something handy. Once again, keep the box in case it needs to go back. I guess I shouldn't be wobbling this table while I'm doing it. I do the print brush good. Wobble that print off the bed plate. Alright, so unlike the actual printer, this has a simple lift off top. So what we've got. Okay, let's get this out of the way so you can see. So that's the curing station you can see in the background, and there's your UV lights on those towers. That will actually set the resin hard. So it's got a small dial in the center there that will end up spinning the plate. A couple of mirrors and the likes there. Really not that much to it. This is the wash tank. to it. Let's see what we've got in here. Alright, power supply. Bucket, plate, that's for actually doing the curing. That'll go in there, spin around so that the print gets exposed to the lights evenly. That, if I remember rightly, is an adjustable bracket, so depending on what printer you're using with this wash station, you can set this to make it smaller so that your build plate will balance on there in the water nicely. And here's the wash tank. You can see the agitator in there. So without looking at the manual, what I guess you do is when your print's finished, you're going to set this up first. You can feel the magnets grabbing that. And I'm sure then the magnets will cause that to spin, make the agitation. You're going to put your, you've got the Allen wrench and a spare screw. I'm guessing you'll put this in here. Let the thing wash. Put your plate on top of that. That's big enough to close. Then when the wash cycle is complete, take it out, get your print, remove this. Then put your curing plate on. Put the cover on top of it. Cover on top of it. And let it go. So, looks easy enough. I've got to say, perhaps having two separate stations would be nice. I guess combining it into one makes it a little cheaper, but yeah, looks pretty well built. So we'll see how that goes. Once the rook's printed, we'll end up having to go cleaning it up. And with the water washable, we'll just use tap water. We've got our fill marks there. See how much we need to use. Yeah, looks so simple, even I can do it. Alright. One annoying thing about these resin printers though is that you really can't see what's going on at the beginning, as you've got the lip of the vat comes up, prints on the plate, and the plate is below that brim, so you can't see under it. Now the 4 Ultra has a built-in camera, and that tucks into the bottom corner there, so you can monitor it on your phone. But even then, it still has to come up enough for the camera to be able to see what's on the plate. So yeah, so you don't get much of a clue to start with. You just got to keep your fingers crossed until you can actually see that the thing is stuck to the bed. Alright, so we're going to go and watch the second half of the football game, and then I'll come back and see how it's going. Okay, so 3.5 hours later, print is finished. So it's risen the tray out of the tank where it can drip dry a bit. Let's pick this up. Ooh, oh, that's a stamp smell again. So yeah, there it is hanging off the bottom. So I took the liberty to take the water tank, fill it up with water, and I'm going to see if I can adjust these things to suspend. Tell you what, let's do the right thing, put some gloves on this time. No, it's going to be covered in cotton as well. Let's have a look. I really don't know how toxic this stuff is exactly, or whether it'll just bring me out in a rash, but either way, I'm not in a rush to find out. If anybody has stuck their hands into this stuff or ingested it and had some interesting side effects, please leave some comments below. I'd love to know what this actually does to get it on you. Right. There we go, I'll leave her up. It. Still some resin on that plate. Oh, bit drip in there. Get this stuff everywhere. It'd be nice if there was something just to hang it sideways to let it drip. But, so let's bring it over here. Perfect. So on the largest size, it's just right for dropping it in. I'm going to close this up. Let's put the power on. Put wash. It's 30. Start. Off it goes. Man, that's noisy. Right, there's that. So clean up these last few drips here. Okay, 30 seconds, obviously not enough. Let's give it What do you reckon? 5? No idea. Put that glass away. Something I'm going to have to look at, but I have no idea how long you're supposed to clean these things for. This thing's hot. Resin all over it. Wasn't too bad. Just going to let that run for a minute, and I'll come back. Meanwhile, I'll show you something else I'm doing in the other room. So just for a bit of fun, I've taken the rook off the USB stick and sliced it in Cura for the Neptune 4 at the finest setting. And there it is, printing out at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll compare that with the resin one once it's finished. Oh, let's see how that works. Okay, the last few seconds. And it's finished. Let's take that off. Like that. This gunk off the top. Let's get my gloves on. It's going to be a habit. So you can see where you get so many gloves in a box now. You're going to go through a load of them. Okay. Let's see. Let me get this sucker off. You can do it. Oops, that's not the way to do it. Come on. Tell you one thing, these things stick pretty damn good to the plate. Come on. Come on. Man, this thing is on tight. Jeez, is this normal? Hey, go. Huh. Amazing. So, yeah, looks pretty damn good. Considering I'm used to FDM printers, I don't even see a layer line. It is amazing. I'm going to bring it in here. See the letter in here, Elegoo and Saturn. I mean, it is beautiful finish, apart from when I beat the hell out of the bottom there. But man, that's good. Okay, so having done that, I believe the next step is to actually allow these to dry before you cure them, otherwise you end up with some marks, white splodges and things on them. So, as I don't want that, put down that metal scraper that's marked the bottom of this plate. That's not good. Jeez. There we go. Pop that back down, ready for the next print. Okay, let's get this bucket out of the way. Put that on the floor. Gloves. Go, tray on there. Center. Cover on. Well, I'm not too worried about letting it dry. So let's cure it for 5 minutes. And let it go. Oh, alright, job done. Obviously going to have to take a bit more care with this and these prints though. I don't want to scratch up the base. I don't even know if they sell those plates as a replacement. Okay, so I'm going to let that run. Now I'm going to run over to the other room. I've picked another file, the Queen, to slice and print. So I did that while we were offline in Shutterbox. So I'm going to bring that in, pop it in there, let it print. Back in a sec. Alright, back again. So that finished. Take that off. And I'll put in that Queen chess piece. And I'll let that run. Once again, print. There's the Queen. Print. And off it goes. Just let that thing cure. I'll let the other piece finish on the Elegoo, then I'll bring these two together and we'll take a look at them and compare them both. What's this? Oh, do not touch the device. Right, the usual self-checks. Catch you in a bit. Alright, for the sake of some transparency here, after I shut the camera off, came back in to film the next section, and this had locked up, printing that Queen. Now I put the Queen file onto a no-name brand cheap USB stick, and I was wondering whether that might have been the reason it wasn't formatted correctly. So I turned the machine off because it just stopped on layer 2. It was blank, wasn't doing anything. Copied the file then onto the USB stick that came with this machine, reset it, put it back in. Had to scrape layer 1 off the bed because that's as far as it got before it locked up. And now it seems to be working fine. It's up to layer 5 and going forward. So gut feeling was it was that cheap USB stick that was just lying around that I decided to use for some reason. This machine didn't like it. Probably a USB 1 file formatted to something it really didn't like. Anyway, that was one problem. Then I went in, and if you remember, I set up the Rook to print on the Elegoo Neptune 4. Well, the Rook might print fine upside down in a resin printer with no supports. Doesn't like an FDM printer printed the correct way up with no support. So it was a mess, it fell apart. So I actually changed it over to the Neptune 3 with supports, and that's printing away at the moment. So I'm just going to go to bed, and then I'll be able to compare the finished Rook here with the one that's printed on the Neptune 3 now, which is going to take about 3 hours because that thing's slow. And in the morning we'll also see how far the Queen's come along as well. So yeah, that's it for the moment. I'll see you all in the morning. Okay, good morning. So, got my chess piece printed on the Elegoo. During the night, that 60-hour print that was supposed to be the Queen on this stopped after doing the base and came up as finished, and I have no idea why. I'm going to take a guess at something I did in my slicer settings wasn't right. So I've had another play, I've sliced another model, stuck it in there, so I'm going to have a go at printing that. But yeah, the only thing I got on the plate was this thin piece of the base support. Then it decided to stop. See if this goes any better. Let's have a look and compare these two, and there really is no comparison. So here's the chest piece from the Saturn. I'm just going to come around the back so I can hold these up for you. So you can look at the lettering on that. I mean, absolutely crystal clear. Stairways in the center. And down inside, here's the one off the Elegoo, and it had a bunch of supports. Lettering, as you can see, rough. Because I haven't sanded anything down, but where I had to rip off the supports, I ended up taking some of the stuff off from the inside too. So, I mean, really can't compare the two. I mean, the only good thing you can say about this one is for an FDM printer, I can't really see much on the layer lines, but they are there. But you look at this and there's nothing. A few little bits that just need to be cleaned off there. Really, after I took it out the water tank, I should have used a toothbrush and just give it a quick once over before I cured it. But yeah, no comparison between the two. And they took about the same time to print. They were both about 3 hours. So all in all, I'm quite happy. Now I just need to get this thing printing right. Let's see if I can work out what I did wrong on those settings. Anyway, that's all for now. I'm going to upload this so you can all have a laugh at it. But so far it works, but I've got to get used to that box. And that's a battle for another day.